Looks like all that's working. Sweet. Kitties. Where'd that kitty go? There he is, hiding behind the monitor. Here, Ziggy. Oops. Oh, good kitty. Alright, kitty, you gotta move your butt. I need to see the desktop. So, today should be just like a few more practice runs, as well as, hi kitty again, as well as practicing some commentary, thinking about, and just touching on things I should say for like a real frickin' run. Yeah. So I'm gonna do that, and give like full commentary, or real commentary, depending how you look on it. Here we go. Uh-oh. No reset runs would be a good idea too, since it's just like that's mostly what it would be like. Kitty, what are you doing? I might have to kick this cat out. Being extremely rowdy. Oh no. Well, luckily during the marathon I won't have to actually worry about splits. I'm pretty sure anyways. Yeah, just a timer. just shaking the nerves off anyways. Right. Oh, this low quick kill. Anyways, I should really be treating this like a frickin'... like it's the actual marathon run, but it feels weird, saying words. Alright, anyways, whatever. It's frickin'... Okay. So like in this level I should talk about some of the basic mechanics in the game. Like extremely basic. Like this is a game where you can grab onto anything and throw things and jump around. And that's basically a lot of what you're doing all the time. And the main part of it is making sure you can go real fast by controlling your momentum. Alright, I guess in each level I should be thinking about, well, what am I actually doing in each level, and explain what's going on. Like right now, how the objective is to kill all the enemies on the map, including this mini-boss, so I'm bringing along these enemies as ammo, so we can kill this guy as quickly as possible. I should be explaining everything, including like super basic stuff. It's also hard to talk and focus at the same time. That's okay, I just gotta get used to it. That level. Oh. Alright. It feels like there's gonna be no way to do this without feeling weird no matter what, so I should get used to it, I guess. This level. I've got ideas of what I should say about each stage, but it's always just, freaking saying it. actual runs themselves aren't even that much of an issue, but I should really focus on actually giving commentary. Because... yeah, I'm pretty confident I'll be able to get a good time, basically no matter what, but... freaking words. Words is harder than game. That's okay. So here we go. Alright, hello. This is Grapple Force Rena. This is a game about, well, grappling. And the main character Rena can grab onto any wall and throw enemies and swing around. Maybe it would help to have a kitty nearby. Nope, they're all sleeping. Alright. I go over what I want to say about each level. Maybe that would help. Because right now there's a big chance of me just blanking and not saying all that much. Which might be okay anyways. So I shouldn't be too worried. Ah! So this is Grapple Force Rena. This is a game where you get to use these grapple bracelets and swing around and grab onto and throw enemies. And the main way to go fast in this game is to just grapple onto everything and control your momentum and propel yourself forward without stopping. There's a few tricks to help go a little bit faster. Most of the time it's just swinging and moving really well. So for this level, we've got to destroy all the enemies here. So the plan is to take some of these guys and prepare them. These guys are very useful for taking on the mini-boss because if you don't bring them here, you'll have to wait for the mini-boss to attack first so you can throw it back at him. Having these guys helps because you'll just be able to kill it as quick as possible. And so with this game, there's a lot of different mechanics for dealing damage to enemies. A lot of the time, the best thing to do is to throw an enemy against another enemy. Because you can throw enemies against the ground to destroy them like that, and if they're weak enough, they'll get destroyed. But the stronger enemies take more damage by throwing them against each other. So unless you want to throw something against an enemy a bunch of times, like that, you'll want to take out two birds with one stone as much as possible. So these shield ones are annoying, because you gotta wait for them to attack. But that's a fast way to take them down. And we're almost done here. Just gotta throw everything against each other. And there's only one enemy left, a radish will do. Yeah. And don't worry about the timer. And this level, Rena's leaving town and trying to become a hero when you make a friend. This is Jet, who's helping us out. Helping us track down this villain, this huge jerk, who has these really flattering statues of himself all over the place. And his secret base is around here somewhere, so we've got to find it. It's under one of these statues, but it's always it's not like a random statue every time. It's always the second to last statue you displace. So like, it's always gonna be this one because there's one other statue left. So this is the last statue as far as the game's concerned. So now we gotta take down this escape ship. And there's a way to quickly kill it. If I mess that up, it's okay. I'm gonna focus for a little bit so I can get that. Oh no, the stream froze. Why did the stream froze? That ain't good. Seems to be like the stream's fine. Did it freeze and get better now? Strange, the preview's showing that it's working. What the heck? If this ends up happening in the run, basically I can just resume through the story mode, more or less. And then, once the story mode reaches the end of a chapter, I can resume using the, frickin'... Okay, so Twitch had a weird moment there. That's okay. Yeah, if it gets so bad where I have to restart the game, then I can just restart level by level, that should be fine. Whereas usually I can just restart the course. Should be fine as well. Alright. Well, anyways. So this level I want to take down this escape ship as quickly as possible. So I need to focus for that a little bit. And you can re-grab some enemies, as long as they don't touch the ground, or bounce off the ground. Even if they're already, like, defeated. So that's how we get to do that. Oh, that's a quick kill, and that should do it. A little messy, still good. Now here's the boss fight. It's this big jerk. We gotta destroy this tank. We're getting good luck so far, which is nice, because, you don't want to see the tank dashing. You want to see, a constant supply of ammo. By which I mean just these little minions. And it's okay to get hit here, because you're never gonna actually, like, die before the boss does. Now we just gotta wait. Please. There we go, that's what we're waiting for. So most of the bosses here are really quick. There's some really hard ones, but they'll still be, like, almost always killed pretty quickly. Here is the next world, because each world has 5 levels. We gotta make our way through this, this little labyrinth here. And it's usually a pretty tricky level, but I know the quickest way out. And so this becomes one of the fastest levels. There we go. Now all we have to do is complete the Black Knight's challenge. So a lot is happening, but basically the Black Knight's gonna be spawning all these tokens in this big pinball arena, and we gotta catch them all in time. And if the timer runs out, well, it's never going to, but if it runs out, we just have to fight some minions. But there's 8 left, and they always spawn in the same spots, so if you know where they're gonna be, just show up in time. But it's extremely easy to get bounced all over the place. So we want to avoid that. And going fast in here means risking jumping into something that'll send you across the map. And there we go. That's all the tokens. And this is probably one of the trickiest levels in the game. There's a big switch on the ground over there that opens a big door. but it's a little finicky. Oof, and we want to have as much health as possible. That's kinda rough already. But we're gonna use a collection of friends and rocks. And maybe some other stuff to help us weigh down the switch. So we're just setting up, getting all the ones nearby here. Hey, you're supposed to be down there. You're supposed to be down there. So here we go. Come on, friends. You too. Okay. So we'll make sure all these guys are in the right spot. And we gotta take care not to get hit, because that's really important. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So these ones, or these basic enemies that you see all over the place are actually pretty dangerous. They've got this jumping attack that's really hard to dodge. It's got a pretty big hitbox, and you can't really move in the air all that easily. Oops. So we gotta wait, make sure this thing, it's a little spicy. Oh, that's extremely not good. If you run out of health there, you just, can't beat the course. That almost never happens. Yep, very bad luck there, because, these friends were jumping all over the place. But yeah, normally their ground attacks are very easy to dodge, but their aerial attacks are where they get you. If you're jumping, and, you're anywhere near them, you're gonna get slammed to the ground. And there's two different types of hits. There's like a strong hit and a weak hit. Where if you're hit with a strong hit in the air, you're just stunned. You have to pop to the ground and wait a few seconds. Where a weak hit, you can sort of get back up easier. I never missed that throw. Whatever. Alright, get the crystal, get these friends. Dodge the crab. Right. And I'm very specifically not throwing any of these enemies because they only have 2 health. Throwing them does 1 damage, but there's also the chance I hit them on accident later. It's very easy to do. So if they end up exploding, then there'll be no one to press the switch. It'll be awful. So there's that level. And here we are onto basically my favorite level. It's a nice chill little escort mission. But we gotta help Parcel the pirate here make his way back to his ship. And so we gotta carry him a long way, and while you're carrying stuff, there's a lot of stuff you can't do. Like you can't grapple, you can't wall jump, but you can throw something and then instantly act out of that. So yeah, you just grab and release, throw and jump. Simple. Oof, we got a bad cycle here, so we gotta wait for this, this big light beam. Because that's really the only way to get up. Alright. So this big boy... Yep. If you don't wait for that and they decide to... Oops. They decide to attack, you're not dodging that. Here we go, Purcell. So you can control momentum, you can hold on to momentum by jumping like that. Oops, which means you don't always have to be swinging around. So there, that probably looked a little weird, but you can boost yourself off the wall. And whenever you hear that boing happen, that means you did something that increases your speed just a little bit. There's a certain way to control that. I should explain that later, next time it shows up. Right now we gotta defeat this boss here. This is Pine. She's just sort of looking after us. And she's basically the only boss that you can grab and throw. But you can only grab and throw her for the first 4 hits. And while she's casting a spell, you gotta wait for her to start doing that. But you can manipulate that by just walking far enough away, so... You do that, and it's faster than throwing all these bricks at her. These crystals. There we go. Nice and easy. I fricked that up, it's a little distracted, but... Yeah, pretty quick fight. Okay, this one's just a nice calm drive through the desert. It's kind of a longer level. This should probably be like a either a spot for me to explain things that I want to ramble on about, or donations or whatever. That sort of thing. Also, I'm probably gonna expect, like, a decent amount of, like, chat messages, asking all sorts of stuff, so that'll probably interrupt my train of thought constantly. Hopefully. Now, this level, not that much going on. There's lots of different stuff you can grab in the game that lets you, sort of modify the entire game. The shield guys, you can steal their shields, have a bit of protection above you. Those hover guys, let you float in the air, but it's a little bit slow and not super useful for the run. Okay. Also, I should probably stop defaulting to calling everything guys, but it's... Alright, anyways. Jump off of that one. It's just a nervous habit at this point. Ugh. I think I'll ditch the idea of bringing this guy with me for, showing off. Maybe I'll bring him in the room and then, spike it. Yeah, things would be good. So this mini-boss can't really be defeated. You sort of have to wait it out. Try not to get hit. And it goes pretty quickly if you don't get hit at all, too. Alright, so we made a friend, Pine, the boss from the last chapter. She's helping us out, because there's some mischief going on here. Some big bully, trying to take over the town, with the help of these, minions here. So we want to bust them all up. So Pine helps you out by running around and killing enemies. Kinda randomly, kinda does whatever she wants. And sometimes that can really mess things up. Sometimes she'll go after the soldier that you're holding. And I mentioned how it's important to throw enemies against other enemies. Sometimes you can take out the enemies that you want. Oops. And that way it's hard to kill pairs of them. Alright, so here's just a nice movement level. You get to go fast, and... there's a little way to boost yourself up a wall. Normally you've gotta wait at the edge and hoist yourself up. God, it's really hard explaining that piece of tech, but maybe I'll try to explain it briefly. But basically, if you grab and release a wall that's right next to you, with a grapple beam, just like grab it and let go right away, there's a way to give yourself a tiny little boost like that, and doing that lets you get a little bit higher, a little bit further, which is super, super important for, just destroying this game. No, for, getting over walls that you're not supposed to jump over, that kind of stuff. Getting high enough to skip zones sometimes, too. Yeah, of course, Sammy. It's very important at the end of that level to pet Sammy. I was distracted, but that's no excuse. So here is Caesar's Palace. The big jerk of this zone is waiting at the top, so we gotta climb. And here, lucky 7. That's a 7. And that was extremely lucky. But it was just me cheating because I'm playing this in the speedrun mode, which means that the randomness in here is sort of curved. You don't have to worry about sitting there until you roll a 7. You just get it as soon as you get it, or you just get it as soon as you throw the dice, which is nice. Nice little feature added by the game dev who supports the speedrun community. Right. So I'm actually terrible at getting all those balls in those portals correctly, so I'm glad I did that very quickly. So it'll probably go awful during the actual marathon. Yeah. So this level introduces a bunch of new fun things to swing off of, except these rotating dartboard dealies are terrifying. They're just really easy to fall off of. And sometimes they destroy your grapple beam in weird ways. But you gotta make use of them. Okay, so one more of these zones. These enemies are really annoying because they'll grab whatever's around. But sometimes they can lend a hand. It's time for the boss. This is Caesar, probably the hardest boss in the game. besides the final boss, just because, Caesar makes these portals in the walls and jumps away. And if you throw an enemy at him, but you don't do it the right way, then Caesar will deflect it and send it right back at you. But it's really hard to get in the right position. I'm saying that, but this fight's going really well. Right now, one more hit. That'll do. But normally it's a nightmare because Caesar has two types of portals. One of them makes it impossible to get it hidden right afterwards. Which means you gotta do some weird stuff to make sure you get all your hits to hit. Here we are in the Fairy Forest. This zone is kind of one of my favorite zones. One thing I like to do that you don't have to do ever is... I guess it's particularly important for an achievement if you don't mess it up. Oops. And I messed up a little bit, so I gotta recover. But the plan is to have as many fairies following me at the end as possible. They're trying to hurt you, but it's okay. It's your fault. No, I mean, they just don't want anyone trespassing, including us, and these hollow soldiers. It's not really their fault, so we don't want to hurt them at all. So, I just used a boost there that lets you jump a little bit higher, lets you jump over this wall, and that skips a decent chunk of this whole level. Making it pretty quickly, just jumping over everything. So now here is the fairy pipe puzzle. Luckily I remember the answer. But you gotta get all these pipes in the right spot, and you'll see why. Up. Okay. So you can't wall jump while you're holding something, but you can throw something in the air, then immediately wall jump afterwards. So let's just get all these in the right places. And then... Alright. Now is the perfect time for a little break, get a little drink, stay hydrated. Oh no. My kitties are all asleep on the bed. Which is probably better. If they were jumping around everywhere, I'd frickin'... I don't know, I'd freak out. Now here we are on the fairy elevator. The elevator that anyone can use, including trespassers to the fairy kingdom. Like us. We gotta make our way to the abandoned tower. So this is an auto-scroller level that's just... I just have to defeat everything that shows up as quickly as possible, which is pretty much easy to do. It's fun to show off some stuff in here. Maybe this is a good time to explain some of the movement tech that goes on. This is a good area to practice them in. Normally, just moving around involves swinging and going as quickly as possible that way. But some of the advanced stuff that's maybe almost a glitch, or maybe not really intended behavior, is if you're close to a wall and you quickly create and delete your grapple beam, and you get that little boing, and those boings mean you get a speed boost. And you can see I just get a huge height boost there versus a regular jump. So that's really important for crossing, just for moving all over the place really. It's just a little extra speed that's easy to get. And a lot of the time there's something that you just can't quite jump on top of because it's a little bit too high. So combining that with jumps, and all your other movement just makes a lot smoother movement in general. Because normally you have to sit there and wait until Rena hoists yourself up, which is a lot slower than just getting one of those quick grab and release boosts, which usually just saves you a second or so. That should be it. Here we are. So now, hey, who's that? Looks like some jerk is here to help us. Right now we just gotta climb this tower as soon as possible because the bad guy is waiting at the very top. He's taunting us. Caesar's helping out with these portals. But honestly, we don't really need them a lot of the time. Oops. Ah, trying to get a weird boost jump here, but it's tricky, so I'll just do the normal way of climbing. So being a little bit too slow here means that these fairies that are all throughout the forest get time to catch up to you, so they all swarm you. So that's a little hairy. You want to avoid doing that by just going as fast as possible. Easy. These soldiers with swords are the worst. There's no way to get through them without defeating them or stunning them in some way. Otherwise they will hit you. Alright. Here's the mini-boss. Fairy still don't want you here, so... it's big robot time. We gotta hit it 3 times with these rocks that are down here. But for this second hit, we want to wait, because we can manipulate the cycle in the next fight, or in the next hit, by letting it use that gun attack first, because now it's definitely gonna slam the ground, instead of using its other attack, which is way longer. So that's how that fight goes as quickly as possible. And here we are at this. This is not quite a boss fight. Don't worry, everything's fine, probably. Gems. We just gotta get away, make our way down this tower as quickly as possible. Oops. And not touch any of those walls because they will hurt. And there's some sounds going on outside. But it's okay to get hit here, because you can still go pretty fast either way. If you get hit too much, it's a problem, of course. But it's really hard to go quickly in here without taking damage. So you're either gonna take a bunch of damage, or not go fast. Alright. So we gotta wait for this thing to show us the way. And if we have enough health at the end here, we can get through this ground. Just take a hit, it's faster. Here we are into a new zone. I'm not really sure what's going on here. We're just scavenging a bunch of these fruits. These good tasty bits. Just all over this human city. Get out of there. And oops. Dang it, Scoops. Scoops, you're supposed to get this one. God. Scoops is supposed to grab one of those and help you out, so you don't have to carry all these all over the place. You just gotta put them back in this barrel, or wagon. So our good old friend Scoops here saves the day. Oops. And that hanging gunner was in a bad position, so I had to back off or get hit. Now we try to get these bits as quickly as possible. We don't need all of them, just a certain amount, so these are the fastest ones to get. Dang it. And zipping around this place, it's very easy to fall, and you can't really catch yourself if you fall here. If you fall, you're going all the way to the bottom, and you gotta climb all the way back up, so it's a little risky. Hoping that doesn't happen. I still need these bits. Does anyone remember what this NPC's name is? I think it's Paige? I guess you gotta give the bits to. But like, all in lowercase letters. I'm gonna have to look that up. Hi, Scoops. Yeah, I'll check it out. It's definitely on the Wikia somewhere, right? Or I could just look in game too, but it in frickin'... in this mode, you can't actually talk to her. Yeah, but like, I don't actually have the option in this mode. There's no dialogue there. Oops, I wasn't expecting that to fall all the way down. Alright, well this level... time attack? Oh, yeah, this is the time attack mode. You can't talk to some NPCs in time attack mode. You can't talk to the puzzle fairy either, or some of the other characters. You just can't talk to them. Oh yeah, ILs, we're just doing the level itself. Yep, we can talk to them then. But right now I just want to continue this, keep it going. Alright, so in this level you can open up this door's 3 seals in any order, but this is the quickest. Take out the mini-boss first, then go bottom left, then bottom right. And get a full combo on these big generators. First get some ammo, then do a combo. Perfect. So now the door's open, you just gotta get back there. Alright, you actually won't see what we find in it. We make a new friend. Will never appear in the run. But this friend lets us into this secret base, where we know they're creating these hollow soldiers, which is what they're called, these robots. So we gotta destroy it. Oh, that was close. That one usually gets me. Definitely dodged by luck, not skill, but I'll take it. Alright, so we're moving fast. We're getting through this place. We gotta convince this computer that we're a robot. Easy. And we gotta get through all these friends. Boost, jump, jump, jump. Dang it. Tried to get through here without getting hit. You know, maybe it'd actually be better to grab the shield there. I think it actually looks cooler. And doesn't actually, like, lose or save time. So I'll try to remember that. Alright, so those scoopses are not friends. These things are explosive. So if you go too fast, bad things happen. I'm not sure what happened there, but I almost got. Now we gotta get this last key back over to, oops, back home. There's 4 keys you can get. These are the fastest usually. There we go. And now it's Pine's turn to rescue Rena. Rena is the main character. Pine you might recognize as the second boss. And we can get to play as her now. She's a little bit different. She doesn't really get to move all that fast, but she's really good at fighting. And she's got some magic too. So it's actually a little harder to move around as Pine, probably just because you don't get to use her as often, but because you don't get to move very fast, all this stuff is kind of calm and relaxed, but it's also very easy to mess up and miss a jump because the double jump has like a really weird property to it where its minimum height is based off of the height of your last jump, or the height of your single jump going into it. So there's stuff like that just makes her more complex to play. There's also some really cool stuff you can do too. Okay, let's not get hit by this. Good. So right there, we just went faster by turning around before we got hit by the lightning there, and that just boosted us forward instead of backwards. Get the key. Let's try to stand on those treads as long as possible, or those platforms. So as time, you just try to do every little thing you can to speed up. It adds up. Dang it. I should have jumped that one. So here, we try to set up something pretty cool. Yup. Now we got 2 keys. So if you stack them up like that, you can just grab them infinitely, actually. You can grab all 3 keys, you can grab every shield and item in the room, just carrying them all behind you. That's fun to do. Alright. And here is one of the harder bosses. In the speedrun, the boss isn't so bad, but normally when you're playing, it'll take you a while to figure out what the heck you're supposed to do. Speedrun sorta is not what you're supposed to do, but normally this boss learns based on the attacks you use, so that getting an attack in the next time is harder. Up until, like, in the very final hit, you're trying to figure out what the heck you have left that'll actually hurt. But you can also just do that. So that's normally a very cool boss. Now Rena again. And we have a bunch of friends following us. We got Prince Ark the Fairy, we got Commander Herg, his quote-unquote friend. And we got a bunch of soldiers we gotta blow up, so... There's Jet. There's gonna be a few of those little arena battles like that, and each time you wanna grab Jet at the end, if possible, because you just get a nice speed boost. But doing a lot of fighting means it's really easy to get defeated. So you gotta be careful too. On the strategy... Alright, I should probably also mention a kind of a volume warning for this level. Because there's so much bashing and bombing and bursting and all that fun. Boom. So the strategy is just have your friends around and use them the right ways so that they destroy everyone. Because you can only defeat enemies so quickly, but a lot of them have pretty big attacks. If you know how to point them in the right directions, that can help out a lot. Like for example, Commander Herg is great against these big orange enemies, because Herg has that big old blast that insta-kills them. If he decides to use them. And that's the main problem. The main friends you want to see are Pine, because she just destroys everyone, and these fairies too, because they have big AoE attacks, basically. So if the fairy is pointing off to the side, if the fairy is going to swing the sword like to the left or right, you want to extend the screen so that as many enemies get hit as possible. Also, there's this big mini-boss. So hopefully Jet sticks around. If I wait too long, Jet's gonna leave. Okay, cool. So now we can quick kill this next mini-boss, which is a big help, so otherwise this boss is a pain. And we got it. So here's another defeat as many enemies as you can at a level, where there's a timer. I mean, not a timer. We have to defeat all the hollow soldiers in this area, which is just the robot things. And those fish count as well, they're not natural fish, really. But we can leave the guards alone, except the guards are the strongest enemies in the game, so sometimes you can't really avoid them. So we're only really defeating these robots. That doesn't mean it's easy, though. Sometimes the wizards and the guards get in your way. Almost done, though. Got a really good, real good luck, actually. No, none of the enemies were mean. But nice and quick romp there. Alright, here we gotta get to the center of this airship and destroy the big core there. And the quickest way to the center is from below. And below me is a bottomless void that I want to not fall into. Because that would be bad. Yeah. The upper half of the ship is just a big labyrinth, but if you go below it, you can just skip almost everything. As long as you don't fall. But also something happened, which is real good. I walked into the room and immediately got a hit on this enemy, which doesn't usually happen. It's just based on chance, and a bunch of stuff I'm not really sure about, but I'm happy. I got lucky there. Normally you're supposed to hit it with these blades, and you can't do that immediately upon walking into the room, except sometimes you can. And this mini-boss, well, I'm sort of toying around with it. It actually killed me quite a few times playing this casually the first time, because it is real difficult to find out how to actually dodge everything. There's a lot going on at once. Alright, that was a real good movement and real good fight. Now we're on to, I think, the final level. Yeah, okay, this is the final actual level, the final level before the final boss fight. And this level is just sort of a gauntlet, like a big mishmash of everything you've learned up until this point. So you'll see eggplants. Those are good. And you'll see places from the desert zone and the crystal caverns all over the place. Coming up is probably the hardest skip in the game. It's just a big, complex combination of all the ways to give yourself extra height. So you just got to set up a super jump and jump into that. Ah, shoot. Not quite enough. Okay, I have to jump a little bit later. Ah, shoot. So we got it that time. We just bonked into the enemies afterwards. There's a really small area there where you can grab onto and hoist yourself up and skip a big chunk of this level that you have to go around normally. Alright, so if that ends up happening in the actual run, I think I'll give it a few attempts before just doing the backup, because it's still faster to try it like 2 or 3 times, and it's a really cool trick, so I want to do that. I'm happy about. So this stage, kind of want to goof off and just sit in this corner, but there's also a potential problem. Like, this is going to be super loud, watch. That's the sound of all 4 of those guys dying at once, and there's a chance that stacking up these guys ends up causing a big sound explosion if I mess this up and throw someone. So maybe I should avoid that. Maybe I should just kill him normally. This mushroom skip. Okay, that one I should explain a bit, I just don't feel like it right now. Exactly, that one's just for style, it doesn't actually go faster. Oops, that's a problem. If you fall down here, it's kind of really annoying to get back up. But yeah, you can get a whole bunch of speed off those mushrooms just by using your grapple in a weird way. And that's the only place you can really do it realistically, so I'm going to add that in there. And just go as fast as possible. And make your way to the very end. Now, onto the final boss, which also a bit of a volume warning too, because the sound you hear, the song itself is one of the loudest in the game. Okay, so first rule of fighting this boss, don't take unnecessary damage. Second rule, don't hit the shield. Oops. So this is, both in the speedrun and in the actual game, a really, really hard boss fight. So me goofing off is a bad idea. So it's time to goof off. You gotta take the staff and throw it at the Archmage. And it'll take some time before the staff is ready to attack, and that's when you can grab it. Oops. Well, that's kinda bad. Okay. So the last 2 health on this enemy is special. Archmage is always going to use this big meteor fall, and you can get a hit with that, which is great. And we're coming up on time here, because this time comes as soon as the final hit is landed. But this is the hardest hit in the game, so I have to focus. Gotta grab one of these attacks they use, and do this. Time. Yeah. Alright. And that is Grapple Force Rena. Alright, cool. Alright, that actually went pretty well at first. Felt pretty comfortable talking. More than I expected. Good. I'm gonna do another one of these runs, but I do need a little break first. My kitties have been napping this entire time. Oh. Alright, I'm excited for tomorrow, though. I mean, I guess it's tomorrow for me, but, like, not tomorrow for everyone, but yeah, tomorrow, 10:15 p.m. Pacific time is the run. But the whole marathon starts earlier. It starts, tomorrow in the morning, I think. So yeah. That's good. So what happens at the end of these runs? Probably just, like, goodbye and, like, last plugging of social media and stuff. Guess I'll just plug my Twitch stream. Come join, give me lots of subscribers. Bring your kitties. You can have a kitty party. You know what? I was actually thinking about this for a while, but maybe I should get a kitty cam. Not like for the marathon, because that's too soon, but like nice little cat camera. That would be fun. Okay. It's weird that the stream cut out that one time. It must have been Twitch just being goofy, but I'll have to make sure to keep an eye on things just in case. Yeah, we're gonna do at least one more run tonight with commentary again. But in a minute here. Alright. I'll be back in just like 2 minutes to mess around, but I just need to stretch. Okay. Okey-doke. Let's see. Yeah. Thinking of the actual run, there's like nothing that should actually give me trouble. Even if I'm distracted talking, I might lose a few minutes just like messing up and all that, but honestly nothing should go so bad that it's disaster. I've been practicing this all freaking week. Yeah. Everything's good. Oh, right. So, whom art thou? Paya. You can drag the cart, just bring it back when you're done. Paya, 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 Paya. Okay. I also recently reduced some of the sound effects volume to where it's never overwhelming, I think. Anyways. Time to do another run with commentary. Hopefully Kitty will join me. Hint hint. To my kitties that are sleeping on my bed over there. Paya. Yeah. Hi, so this game is Grapple Force Rena. It's a game about swinging around and using these cool grapple beams to grab stuff and throw everything you see. So in this game, a lot of moving around is just swinging around using your beams as well as possible, and holding on to momentum, because once you stop it's hard to gain speed again, but if you have speed, just hold on to it and you'll go fast. Really fast. Yeah, ignore the timer again. In this level, we gotta defeat all the enemies. All these soldiers, these hollow soldiers, are what they called. These little robot things. Alright, invading the town, so we gotta defeat them all. And this little mini-boss right here is the reason why I brought these two little ones down here. Because if you bring these guys, if you bring these things around, you can use them as ammo before the mini-boss attacks, or otherwise you'd have to wait for the mini-boss to attack and then summon ammo that you could use to launch back at it. So, bringing some enemies in here in the first place is much nicer. And bringing more than one means that if you, in case you miss, or lose your ammo, you're still in good shape. Because as long as you capture them before they hit the ground, you can still reuse them to throw at things. So these ones with shields, pretty annoying. You gotta hit them while they're attacking, so that's a good way to deal with them. And these fish, those are hollows as well. Cool, bomb is a hollow. So there's only one enemy left, so I got this cool radish. And normally the idea is you want to throw enemies into each other as much as possible, because a lot of the bigger enemies, or like human-sized enemies, have more than one health. And if you throw them on the ground, if you throw them against the wall or on the ground, they only take 1 damage, so you have to do that twice. But if you throw them against each other, then they both take enough damage to defeat them. So you just want to destroy them in pairs as much as possible. Oops. On this level, we made a friend, Jet. Rena is leaving town. trying to chase around this big jerk who's causing trouble. And we made a friend Jet who's helping us out with these cool wings. So for this level, we gotta uncover Commander Herg's hideout, which is somewhere beneath these very tasteful statues. And it's always gonna be under the second to last statue that you dig up. So you can make like a consistent route for it. For this one, we gotta take down this escape ship, and there's a quick kill for it, which is just something I gotta focus for. You can re-grab these guys as long as they don't touch the ground. Because this thing I'm using is way past dead. But as long as it doesn't touch the ground, it won't disappear. So that's that level. And now we fight the boss, which is Commander Herg in this cool tank. We got bad luck to start with. We want to get as much of those enemies as possible. And we take it down. Bad luck, the tank turned around, which takes longer. So the health bar at the top right is the bosses. And once you hit it enough times, Commander Herc pops out. We just gotta wait for them to do that. And that's the first boss. A lot of these bosses are pretty quick to defeat if you know how to take them down. They do get harder though. Some of them are the hardest levels in the game. Now we're in the Crystal Caves, and we gotta get our way through this maze. But if you know how to get through it, then it becomes one of the fastest levels in the game. So you can conserve momentum by jumping, and you can boost yourself off these walls by creating a grapple beam right as you jump. And that just gives you a little bit of speed and height, which can be very important for scaling some walls. Alright, and now we have to complete the Black Knight's challenge, which means collecting all these tokens. There's going to be 10 of them, and they're always going to show up in the same spot, but you want to get to them as soon as possible. And if you ever see a 31, that means I did it perfectly. It means I grabbed the token before the timer even started. A 30 is still fine. It's hard to get to all of them in time, and some of them are just in unfair spots. But this level, it's really easy to just hit one of these bumpers or one of these boost pads and just launch yourself completely across the map. So you do want to avoid that. Otherwise this timer might go into some very low numbers. And there you have it. And now onto basically one of the hardest levels in the game. There's a big switch guarding that door, keeping it locked, and you need to put as much stuff on it as possible and open it up. And stuff includes these little friends that are going to help us out. So I'm just setting up, getting everything I need. Oops. Oops, okay. Good, good, good. You, get in there. You, don't explode everything. Alright, friends. Man. Should have seen that one coming. Sometimes you can't avoid these hits, and sometimes it's just me being bad. Grab. Okay. So those crystals are on there, which is good. Now we just need 3 more friends. 1, 2, 3. You join me. Y'all follow me. Follow me on Twitter. And now we have enough to weigh down the switch, but they really like to jump, which is a problem. So we want to run back and forth until we see a big enough opening. And sometimes there isn't one, but that's what makes that basically the hardest level in the speedrun. The fact that sometimes you can be waiting around on that switch for a long time and lose all of your health. So here's one of my favorite levels in the game. This is Purcell, the pirate. And we gotta guard him back to the ship. And while you're carrying anything, anyone, there's a lot of things you can't do. Like you can't wall jump, you can't throw. You can throw, you can't grapple. But you can instantly release something, then grapple, then jump in the air, then grab it again, then release it again, then grab it, then jump. Do all that cool stuff. You just gotta get the rhythm down for it. So like this. Throw, jump. And that way, I did a sneaky little wall jump that you're not supposed to do. And here, I can do that boost to just scramble up that huge wall. And that's a combination of two different boosts that happen when you grab and release a grapple beam near a wall. If you do that the right way, then you get a little speed boost, or a little height boost. And that can be really useful for quickly jumping up those walls. Or any sort of wall that's a little bit too high to jump up normally. Here we are, at the end of the level. And now, the second boss. Pine. Uses a sword and magic, and is the only boss that you can sort of grab. Oops, I got too close. Her AI is pretty simple to where if you're close to her, she'll run up to you and try to slash you. If you're far away, she'll start charging up magic. But I got too close, so she started trying to cut me down. And I want to get her down to 2 health, because that's you can only grab her up until she has 2 health left. And then we want to hit her with these crystals. And there we go. And now we just take a nice, relaxing drive through the desert. So there's lots of different stuff in this game that you can grab that changes the game up. The shield soldiers have shields that you can grab and steal and use. The green propellers, the green propeller things you can grab so you can get higher jumps and float, but that's a little bit slower, so we've never really used it. Those ones. And these spikes, which are only really present in a few levels. These are the fastest form of movement for the game, basically. So, might as well just take a nice cruise. At this level, you have to remember where to jump, because these spikes are kind of fragile, or at least it's easy to get hit while riding it. And also, while you're riding a bike, you can't grapple as well, you have to jump out of it first. Alright. And I'm gonna go for this, even though I'm not sure I'm gonna do it in the marathon, but this mini-boss is kinda simple. So to spice things up a little bit, we're bringing a friend who wants to hurt us. So not really a friend at all. But the mini-boss is gonna stare at us and shoot lasers. And those are easy to dodge if you don't have something chasing you around. So that's all just for style. If I'm feeling it, I might go for that. So now, Pine, the boss we just... Whoa, that's a weird one. The boss we just beat up, is a friend now, an actual friend. And she's helping us clean up this town because some jerk wants to take over. And that jerk is using all these soldiers to take over his place. But Pine will randomly teleport around and defeat enemies near you, which is great sometimes. Oh, that was a little scary. Fine, take care of that one. Okay, never mind. Where did this one go? Fell down a hole. But sometimes Pine can mess you up because, like I said earlier, it's easiest to kill these enemies in pairs, because you throw them against each other, and they'll both be defeated. Which is nice and fast. And if Pine takes out the wrong enemies, then you won't have something to throw. And it's always important to pet the dog at the end of that level. Sammy deserves pets. Okay. So these little extra boosts help me scale those a little quicker. If you're near a wall, and you quickly grab and release your beam, then you'll get a little bit of a speed boost and height boost. So you can use that to quickly scramble up a wall that you couldn't normally get up. Or to just get up a wall a little bit faster. Ooh, almost made it past that. So we just scrambled through that construction zone, and now we made it onto Caesar's Palace. So the big jerk is waiting at the top of this tower, laughing at us. And now we gotta get a 7 from these dice. Gotta get a lucky 7. Which is actually very easy because this is the speedrun mode, and the developer was nice enough to add it, so if you're playing in the speedrun mode, you'll always get a 7 immediately, instead of having to freaking throw the dice over and over again. It's a nice little friendly addition. However, getting these balls into the portals is something I'm not great at. So often when there's just one ball left is when this will go the worst. Because that's the one that refuses to get into the hole. Alright, doing good. This cool casino has got a lot of fun little gimmicky things to get around on. And those big dartboards, or roulette wheels, whatever they are things you have to use and swing around on, but they're pretty tricky to get used to. And they can throw you off if you're not careful. So now we're up here. These enemies will pick up objects, which makes them very annoying in that room. And here we are at the boss. Here's Caesar. And this is one of the hardest boss fights, because those portals, there's 2 different portals that this boss can make. A portal right above them, which means if you throw an enemy through that portal, it'll just go straight down and hit them. Or a portal on the side of the ceiling like that, which will make it so that the enemy misses. Additionally, you can also get really close up to this boss and throw stuff at them. But if you're too far away and you throw something at them, then they'll reflect it back at you. Anyways, that's Caesar. And that went better than normal. So, here we are into the fairy forest. And we are trespassing. Oops. None of the fairies really want us here. So they're gonna try to take us out. But we don't really want to hurt them, so a kind of useless thing that I like doing is not hurt any of the fairies, or not hurt them, because you won't really hurt them, but if you hit them with a beam or an item, it'll shoo them away. But that means you don't get to have a gigantic horde of fairies following you, and that's a good thing. It does tend to get a little bit loud, though, because each fairy has a pretty loud spell. But it's worth it. So just because these fairies make things a lot harder doesn't mean they're not worth having around. There we go. And we gotta solve this little pipe puzzle. Luckily I remember the solution. Oops. Goofy movement. Really, fairy? We gotta get all these pieces and put them in the right spots. Up. Hey. Alright, that's all of it. Now's the perfect time to take a little drink. Stretch a little bit. Pet your kitty. Alright. Now we are riding the ferry elevator up. This is the fairy elevator that anyone can ride, including trespassers to the fairy kingdom. So, Belle here is showing us the way up. And unfortunately, you don't get their very good dialogue in speedrun mode. This is just a nice, chill place to groove out. And as long as you defeat everything as quickly as possible, it just goes fast, so it's a little auto-scroller. But yeah, to explain some of the tech of what's going on, just moving around this game, a lot of it is just doing the basic movement really well, swinging around and learning how to do that and go as quickly as possible. But there's also some more advanced stuff, like the boosts you can get by quickly grabbing and releasing a wall. Those can, like, extend your jump and send you up a lot higher. So that is very useful for just climbing walls that are a little bit too high to jump over, or getting a little higher than you're supposed to be so you can skip something. This game has a lot of cute fairies in it. It's a very important quality for a game to have. So we've reached our stop, which is the abandoned tower. And once again, a big jerk is waiting for us at the top of the tower laughing. But also another jerk is helping us climb it, so Caesar, who's the boss that we just faced, is creating all these portals for us, helping us out. I wonder why. Okay, cool. The Neo Smilby is looking the wrong way, so I can use that stump to jump up here. Just makes things a little bit easier. Alright. And going slow in this level means you'll have fairies that chase you all through the level. Which is great, but it's also bad. Because they are very accurate. And they try to take down the robot things too, all the soldiers. But they don't really prioritize them over you. Sometimes they'll go after them, sometimes they'll go after you. So you gotta be careful. Alright, now that we've climbed the tower, here's a little mini-boss. The fairies still don't want us here. So now it's time for them to come together and possess the husk of the Forgotten Conqueror. And we gotta hit these things, or we gotta hit this fairy horde 3 times. But the second time, you wanna wait until it does that attack first, because that'll make it skip an attack in this phase. It'll skip a long, slow attack, so it'll just slam the ground, which is exactly what we want. And there we go. So on to the next boss. Well, something's happening. Ooh, crystals. So the crystals do act as a way to heal. You get 4 crystals, then it gives you 1 life. And 1 hit. And all these purple, glitchy, garbled bits will hurt you for hitting them. And you can't grab onto them too. So moving around here is rough, and it's easy to bonk on something that'll hurt. But it's not too bad taking damage here. And you're gonna take damage just by going fast anyways. Just don't take too much damage, otherwise you can't do a skip at the end. Or not really a skip, just a little time saver. So yeah. A lot of this game, it's really easy to go fast when there's a ceiling above you, but it's really hard to go fast when that ceiling's really low, because you don't get enough space to really jump and swing around. So you want just sort of ceilings with the perfect height above you, and that level is just really tricky to climb through. Here we we are. So now, a lot of time has passed, and we're in the human capital. And we have to get some help from our friend Paya, who we just met. Who's gonna show us the location of a secret door. Or more specifically, the location where they're keeping, or where they're making all these hollow soldiers. And Scoops over there helped us out by throwing in one of these bits, which was very nice of them. Right, the point of this level is to collect all these, I don't really know what they are. All these somethings, these good bits, and turning them into Paya, who's gonna scrap them all. Alright, so when you're up here, if you fall, it's a long way down, and there's no easier way to climb back up, so just don't fall. So those are the 25 or so fastest bits, and there's one left, which is always a little bit scary, but I know exactly where it is. It's right by the start here. Scoops is probably gonna help us out. Scoops, there we go. Yeah. Alright, so this level we found a big old door with 3 locks on it. So, we have to go unlock it by destroying these power generators. And the best order to do that is starting with this one. Oh, that's a little goofy. I was supposed to hold on to that ammo the entire fight. Now I gotta use these icicles. That's okay. Doesn't waste much time. It's just harder. Come on. Yeah, one more hit too. Sometimes that glitches out like that. Well, that's one generator. Just 2 more. And that's the only generator that has a mini-boss. These 2 are just big machines you can combo. So yeah, as long as an enemy hasn't hit the ground, you can still re-grab it and use it for ammo again. So that's the whole philosophy behind that combo there. Grab, throw, grab, throw, grab, throw. All these eggs robots. Oops. If you're too far over to the left of this wall, your combo will be slower because your ammo will bounce higher. Okay. I'm getting real tired. Yeesh. As an aside, of course. So let's go. Those friends are helpful for getting a burst of speed. So, inside that door, we meet a friend who we won't really see in the run at all. But they let us into the secret fortress. And this is where they're creating all these hollow soldiers. So we just gotta get through here and get to the end. This big old factory zone. Yeah. Okay, now this machine checks to see if we're a robot. Obviously we're a robot. Alright. Thank you. So you can take those shields and use them as a nice little hat. Very useful. Okay. So there's 3 keys to that big door on the right. you go too fast here, you will get blown up. Just gotta get one more key. There we are. Yeah. Cool. So now Rena's been captured, and we have to be Pine and go rescue her. And Pine plays a lot different than Rena. If you don't remember, she's the second boss, and also one of our friends. So she's a lot slower than Rena, but she's much better at fighting. It's much easier to take down a bunch of enemies. So, for the speedrun, we want to try to get as many little boosts as we can. Oops. And one of the ways to boost yourself is to get hit while facing the wrong way. Because if you're facing to the left, you'll get knocked over to the right. That sort of thing. So that can boost you forward sometimes. But yeah, it's really cool. You get to play as Pine. And she's got this whole array of magic that you're not really gonna see except for the fastest ones, fastest spells. Whoa. Not today, big guy. Alright. So, right there we turned around by slashing our sword to the left. And then that made it so Pine would get knocked to the right. A little bit of optimal movement, except for right there. Alright. So we got this key. We plop it into the keyhole. And now we're gonna set something up so that we can do something cool. If we stop getting hit. So there's a key down there, there's a key up here. You slap them together, and you're carrying both at once. There we go. That speeds things up a little bit. And just one more key. Oops. You gotta get in the hole. There we go. And now onto the boss of this zone. And this is one of the coolest bosses in the game because normally when you're fighting them, they're gonna learn every time you do an attack, so that it becomes harder and harder to damage this boss each time. Except for the speed one, you can just do this, which is a little bit harder than it looks, because it's hard to jump over those portals the right way, and you only have a little bit of time. But yeah, normally this fight ends up getting trickier and trickier the longer it goes on, and it's really cool. Alright, well now we got Rena back, so we're gonna go fast. In this level, we got all sorts of friends helping us out. Commander Herg over there is doing a really good job, actually. Holy crap. Holy smokes. Holy beans. What's Pine doing? Oh, there's someone still alive over here. Normally Pine's the strongest wave clearer, I guess. Because she can take out so many enemies really quickly, but sometimes Commander Herg will use that big cannon, and that'll take out a whole bunch of enemies. But I've never seen him use it like 3 times in a row like that. Alright. Well, show him your stuff, Commander. Yep. Oops. That's my bad. That's gonna happen though, you're gonna take damage here, it's just all part of it. One left. Nope, good. So Commander Herg that time did absolutely nothing. That's how it usually goes. our good friend Purcell, who unfortunately we can't really take with us. Kinda taking a lot of damage here, so I gotta be careful. I'll probably heal up next time I can. Yeesh. Nice. So Commander Herg is the only person that can defeat those big orange ones in one hit. Oof. Okay, I gotta focus. I'm about to die. Sweet. Commander Herg is the only one that can take down those big orange balls. So it's great that he did that. Okay, so this should be the final zone. There's a lot of chaos happening. Ah, dang it, Jet's here too early. Probably not gonna stick around then. So you really want to hold on to Jet after this last wave. Okay, cool. Because that lets you skip this mini boss. Or do a quick kill on it, which is much nicer than taking it down the normal way. Thanks, Jet. Alright, so here's another zone where we've got to take down all the enemies. Except this time, there's humans and there's hollow soldiers. So these robot fellas. So, we only have to take down the hollow soldiers, we can skip the humans. Which is nice, except the humans are sort of the toughest enemies in the game. They'll chase after you with a vengeance. So this guard... it's sometimes better to take them out and stun them. And that one's gonna... yep. Okay, good. Fell down. Oof. Normally those things take 3 hits, unless you have some sort of explosive, in which case they'll die immediately. But there's none of those in this level. None that I can find. Maybe there's some somewhere. Maybe I can get a wizard. All of them? I'm getting on to the end here. This is the second to last level, then it's the last level, and then it's the last boss. But here, we gotta make our way through this airship, and the quickest way to do that is to go under it. But if you get knocked down, you sort of get sent hurtling into the void. It's not really something we want to do. Oops, what the heck happened? So here, if we're lucky, we'll get a quick hit. Ah, not lucky. Sometimes you can get an extra hit in this boss. Otherwise, you just have to wait around. This boss is actually, probably the hardest mini-boss. Fighting this boss casually actually died quite a few times. And it's tricky to figure out how to dodge everything. This is the airship's core. You gotta hang on these blades so it ends up hitting the center. And sometimes, if you're lucky, and I'm not sure why, you can move the blade enough so that it'll hit the core from that very first opener attack. But it almost never works. Alright. Okay, so now we move on to the final actual level before the final boss. And this one is a big old challenging level where it's a big old pile of all the stuff you learned before. You'll see stuff from the desert area, you'll see stuff from the crystal caverns. Oops. See big eggplant statues. It's a big old challenging final gauntlet. coming up is the hardest skip of the game, where we combine a bunch of these boosts where you can fling yourself up to skip this part of the level. Ah, shoot. You need to do all these correctly. There we go. You got those 2 boings. And that usually means you got it, but you can still mess up. Alright. And that skips a decent chunk of this level. It's worth going for even if you miss it a few times, but it is extremely challenging. Here's our friend Belle, the fairy forest. Got a new job. We're just gonna chill here. Wait until we can see the exit. Timed that wrong, whoops. Here we are into the final zone. Now we gotta go for this mushroom skip. Dang it. Okay. So I need to do that mushroom boost off of only the left mushroom. Oops. What are you doing? Get out of here. Because if you hit the right mushroom, then that'll make you, basically bounce in the wrong spots. And get you stuck. So we're just blitzing through all this stuff. Gotta prove we're a robot. Easy. Gonna defeat some humans. And those guards there, like I mentioned, they're some of the hardest enemies in the game. So they will, if you run past them without destroying them, they will hit you. Almost always. Okay. On to the final boss. Now, final boss, both in the speedrun and the actual game, is extremely hard. Casting. No. Got the shield. Okay, it's not looking good so far. So the shield is the worst spell that they can do because it frickin' blocks attacks. Enough said. Most of these attacks I can dodge easily. Oops. Unless I put myself in the wrong position like that. And I've gotta wait until this this rod is ready to use. And we're almost done now. It's just gonna be a few more hits, and time is on the very last hit. Oops. Okay. There we go. So now, 2 health left. The last boss is gonna call these meteors, which is good because you can grab one and launch them back. And now, we're on to the very last hit, which is extremely hard, so I gotta focus. The time is when the very last hit connects, and it's hard to predict when that happens. Okay. Time. Oh, that was a real good run. Nice. I'd be real happy if I got a run like that, even if it's not like all that close to the real run time. There's a bunch of goofy stuff I'm doing just to show off, so if that all goes well, yeah, that'd make for a great run. Okay. Cool. Kitties, what did you think? Ziggy. Okay, kitties are happy. Okay. That's gonna be it for me. I might do a short stream coming on tomorrow just for a tiny bit of practice because I did feel much, much better once I was warmed up. So I might do something like that a bit before the run just so I can prepare. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty comfortable with everything going on. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh yeah, thank you. Who is that? That sneaky gamer. But yeah, so if anyone's curious, there's a run going on tomorrow for speedrun Ragnarok. It's going to be at 10:15 p.m. Pacific time, and I'll be running this game, and I'll be doing it as good as I can. So yeah. Okay, that's it for the stream. I'm freaking pooped. I'll be heading off. Thanks for sticking around.